Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, a hearty good morning. It's Testosterone Tuesday. Hell with the tacos, baby. Get that syringe and pop it in, you old mofos.
I feel so
Brought
old
to you by
right
Bay
now.
Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Get your testosterone right. See what we did right there. Welcome into the show. Lots to get to today as we head to the Combine where the Buccaneers are. Todd Bowles speaking today. He was on Good Morning America, or Good Morning America, Good Morning Football. You remember watching Good Morning America back in the day where it was?
When it mattered, like when Joan London was on it.
Yes, Joan London, and who's the other guy? David
Hartley.
Hartman.
Hartman, there you
David
go.
Hartman. Yeah.
Yeah, when it was cool.
When it was this is cool to watch. We could watch morning shows and late night shows.
Can't do that anymore, man.
They can't. It's crazy. But welcome into the big show. We appreciate you guys jumping in here. We got lots to get to and great guests coming your way. Bobby the Chief Taylor is going to talk some hockey with us at 10:15. John Gerber, our PGA Pro, is going to have some picks for you. We're going to bring him on Testosterone Tuesdays now, so we can get our bets in order before the week starts. We got the Florida Swing coming, so we're going to dive.
Favorite time of the PGA Tour.
The Florida Swing, is it? Yeah,
absolutely, man.
Yeah, you gotta love the Florida Swing.
Yeah.
No, we got some obviously with Bay Hill, the Players, and then Valspar in the final 3 weekends of March. It's going to be fun, and we got another tournament to talk about. I was out at Feather Sound yesterday, and the Ladies European Tour and Aramco and the PIF Fund and all the big money people are coming to Feather Sound next week for a big tournament. There's going to be some big names. Lexi Thompson, who you saw play last night in the match, is going to play, and a bunch of other people that you know, Brittany Lincecum here locally. So some of the best LPGA players in the world. They got the whole setup out there. I played the course yesterday with the bleachers and everything out there and all this setup. It looks great. Yeah. So we definitely want to get that out there for you golf fans to come out and watch. It's going to be really cool this weekend. It's kind of a team format. So lots of golf going on. We got spring training going on. We got the Bucks going on. We got tons of stuff going on. And TJ Reeves will join us also at 11:45-ish. Talk some Buccaneers, obviously, and some college basketball. He was at the USF game at the Sundome on Sunday, another sellout, and USF cracks the top 25. There you go, in the top 25. They're still at number, 88 in the key metrics.
Right.
So in order to get an at-large bid, I don't think they're going to be able to climb high enough to do that because they're not going to get enough quad 2 wins or quad 3 wins to get in. So they're going to have to win the tournament to get in. We'll see. Lots of, and that's going to be in Fort Worth in your area there, Tim Ham.
Right down the road.
Good morning to you, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, JP. It is February, today's the 27th. Yesterday it was the February 26th. And it was
a February 29th.
94 degrees in DFW yesterday.
What?
I set a record high, and it's going to be 92 today.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in the world right now.
What the hell's going on there?
I rode my motorcycle shirtless yesterday in February.
Okay, well, that's more information than we needed. Thank you. Did not get video. Thank you for that.
I had pants on this time, though.
Okay, good. Well, that's a step up, depending on your perspective, I guess.
Definitely is. Yes, it is.
Yes. Wow, it's been beautiful here. It's mid 70s, low 60s, beautiful sunshine. Yesterday was perfect for golf. And Feather Sound for you golfers out there, long time private club here in just over the bridge if you're heading over to Pinellas County. My old buddy Steve Dumig saw his wife there yesterday. The late Steve Dumig used to love playing at Feather Sound, but it was kind of an interesting layout, a lot of water, but it was not in great shape. So a company came in and bought it, and man, they redid the whole place, redid the entire golf course, redesigned a bunch of holes, and they nailed it. It is fabulous. The fairways are just lush and perfect. The green complexes are fantastic. The greens run great. It was a beautiful day to play out there yesterday and to meet some of those folks. So if you have not been out to the new Feather Sound, folks, You got to check that out. You have some of
Oh,
it.
wow.
So, if you want to become a member, please mention my name. Yeah, it's beautiful out there. Fantastic. They did a great job. And for the tournament, it's going to be fun. All right, so let's get down to business here. Buccaneers, as expected, released Shaq Barrett. And this is the dirty business of the NFL, man. It just, a great dude like that, just, as humble and as nice a guy as you'll ever meet. Tremendous family guy. Just one of the good guys in the game. One of the good guys in the game, and you hate that a guy like that gets caught up in the business of football. Sorry, I'm adjusting my fan over here. It's everybody knows about the tragedy that happened with him and his young daughter who tragically drowned, a 2-year-old. And it's just, how could it not affect you? There were days when Shaq was like before the game was just broken down emotionally and crying. And he admitted this and it takes a strong man to admit these type of vulnerabilities. And you think about, we always think, an NFL player or, a professional athlete, you get paid to play, just go out there and play. Well, they got feelings too. And
still a human being. Yeah.
Those broken hearts like that don't heal. They don't ever heal. They just don't. Even as a religious man as he is, and in great faith and know he will see his daughter again, it just doesn't make up for not having them here in the world that we live in. And it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. And so it was tough for him to play last year and coming off an Achilles injury. What could we really expect from Shaq last year? It is what it is. And he tried his best and, production wasn't there, hasn't been for a while, the Achilles injury. But, again, this is the business of football. And as we shift to the business of football, when you sign older players to long-term extensions, this is what you get. A lot of dead cap money at the end. They'll actually save $5 million in cap money this year, but it's $9.5 million in dead cap and $17.4 million in dead cap next year. So it's like, if you paid him this year, it would be, and he played, it would be what, 15 million. But you cut him, you save the 5. And then you go, for next year, it's just going to be all dead cap hit. And it sucks. And I mentioned that because this is what we're dealing with Mike Evans. And I think with some of these guys, you just swallow it. That, year 1 and 2 of a 4-year deal for Mike are going to be great. He's going to perform tremendously well. Year 3, probably a drop off. Year 4, maybe a Shaq situation. You just don't know because of injuries. It's a brutal game. It's a brutal game. And the Mike, it's interesting. Mike he avoids hits really well. Like I can't remember, there's one catch that he made on the sideline. It's still to this day is one of the top 5 catches I've ever seen where he one-hands the ball and just forget the safety. You guys will help me on this. Some safety came over and just obliterated him as he was making a one-handed catch on the sideline, keeps his feet in, takes the hit and holds on to the ball. I mean, just ridiculous catch. But that's the only time I can ever remember him really getting rocked. He just doesn't take a lot of tough hits, relatively speaking. Like Chris Godwin, it just seems to just get blasted.
Every play.
He runs. So, and Mike, he's been known to catch the ball and fall to the ground. I mean, I'm not saying in a cowardly way, but Mike likes to secure the ball and go to the ground. So there's, that's.
Well, the first order of business is make the catch, right?
Exactly. Make the catch. And that's the first order. Yak is extra. But there have been, many a time where we've all seen it where we're like, what are you doing, man? Like, get up, run. Like, why'd you fall to the ground right there? Just catch it and keep running. But so Mike, to his credit, that keeps him in the game. We want him in the game. Do you want to get injured for 3-4 extra yards? No, lay down. Fine. I'm good with it. That's fine. So that's why he's played, 10 seasons and has 1,000-yard seasons every year because he knows how to take care of his body. So it's a good thing. So I think that he can play deep into his 30s and I think be very effective. But, there's probably a good chance that the last couple of years of that contract may not be the best situation for the Bucs. But that's the business. That's the business of it. You sign him, you pay him, and you got him for the next few years. You get Baker and all that stuff. Again, I will, we talked about this ad nauseum. Todd Bowles on Good Morning Football this morning reiterated it. We want them both back. We think we can get them back. Again, I will be shocked if they lose either one of these guys or any of the guys. They have enough cap room. The cap went up $25 million. They were already $43 million under. With the Shaq savings and other other things they can do, they could probably originally get to 70 plus the added 25, 30. So they've got plenty of cap money to work with. That is not a problem. It's just a matter of how much you want to give these guys that's going to affect you down the road. That's where the problem is, or the opportunity is, depending on how you see it. How much you give him now is going to be a Shaq situation down the road. So that's where you try to save as much money and get value and get real value. But, if you're in this situation where you've got older players but you really like them and you think they can really be productive, you pay them and you're going to eat them. It's just like, in baseball, you pay more for free agents, right? Young players are cheap. You're going to overpay for free agents. That's the way it is. It's the same thing in football too. You're going to overpay for free agents. It's the way that's part of the game. You underpay, Antoine Winfield has been a steal for his rookie contract, right? Two Pro Bowl seasons. If he came in at market value, you would have been paying him $16 million a year from his rookie deal, but you hadn't. He probably made total $16 to $25 million in his rookie deal.
Right.
So you underpay those guys and you overpay the others. And the other thing you have to remember, folks, is when these contract numbers start to come out, you're going to get sticker shock. You're going to go, whoa, man, that's it. But you got to readjust your thinking because the cap now is 250. It was just 200 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So, contracts now are going to, just organically be 10%, 10 to 15% more just with the cap going up. So, so don't get the sticker shock when you first hear it. It's going to be fine. But Mike Greenberg, our capologist, knows what he's doing. Jason Light knows what he's doing. They're not going to let these players get away. I'd be shocked if they did. And if they do let them get away, then you know what? There's going to be criticism, and rightly so. And I don't think Jason Light's going to be in the mood for any of that stuff. So he'll talk today, by the way, at noon. And we'll get more from him on what he's playing. You know what he's going to say? He's going to say, we want Mike back. We want Baker back. We're working hard to get it done. I don't think he'll have any announcements today that these deals are done. Right. I wouldn't even be shocked if Mike hit free agency and, but it doesn't mean if he hits free agency, he's not coming back. We've seen that with a lot of Buccaneers that hit free agency. They go and just find out what their number is, and the Bucs find out what the number is. And then they match it or massage it and they bring it back because Mike wants to be here. I don't think he's wanting to go to Houston or wanting to go to Pittsburgh or the Chiefs, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. They don't have the money to sign him. And they've already proven they don't need to overpay wide receivers to win Super Bowls. They've proven that. So, I just don't think there's an obvious, Houston is would be a good, you kind of see a good fit there. But again, you don't know the lay of the land. You don't know the coaching staff. You don't know the quarterback looks great, but he could have a sophomore slump. He could get injured. Anything can happen. So the unknown is the unknown. The known is the known, and he likes it here and he loves it here. He loves the community. I just, again, would be shocked if he goes anywhere else. So we'll talk some Bucks as we go through the show a little bit more. TJ Reeves will join us. And we'll get into it in the second hour as well. See if there's any developments because there might be. Yep. Just quickly, the Rays yesterday, Junior Caminero hits a 3-run bomb. Their young superstar, the Wander Franco replacement, so to speak, in spring training. And that's just tantalizing because he's going to get sent to AAA. Ahmed Rosario went 1 for 3, played some shortstop. But these young kids they got coming at shortstop are really good. And, it's like, is the future now or is it, a year from now or a few months from now? I don't know. But, the Rays seem to have some answers at shortstop right now, and I'm interested to see how it's going to go. So we'll get into that a little bit more as well. We'll hit our first break here early because we're going to get Bobby the Chief Taylor on. The Bolts got another road game tonight at Philadelphia against the Flyers. So I'll hit our first break here, 3-minute break. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Talked to Scott Jeeves yesterday, gave me a little update on the FSU lawsuit situation, saying they're already working out a deal right now and figuring out what the exit fee is going to be. So it's just a matter of months before that's probably announced that the FSU is leaving the ACC. Where they're going, we'll see. I still think it's the Big Ten, but Scott Jeeves is all over it, and he's all over your case too. If you need help in any way in the legal realm, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Start the new year with a new diamond from the Gold and Diamond Source. It's still engagement season. Where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? Of course, I just got mine there. I'm engaged. You should do the same thing. Let's go. Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country. A literal jewelry superstore with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. And if you have a loved one or a special person in your life who has a birthday this month, maybe you have an anniversary coming up, you can get 15% off the January birthstone, which is garnet, as in garnet and gold for all your Seminoles. Celebrate that mythical national championship. And it's the Gold and Diamond Source's 40th anniversary. For the past 40 years, they have taken pride in offering only natural diamonds formed over billions of years from the Earth's incredible forces. And gold prices are at an all-time high. Now's your chance to turn your jewelry box into a cash machine. It's the perfect time to trade in your broken or unworn pieces for something new and stunning. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Testosterone Taco Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. That's a good mix right there.
That is great, man. I need a testosterone taco right now.
There you go. There you go. Go to Bay Area Modern Medical Center.
Let me talk to Chris about that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Come up with a new marketing idea. I love it. All right, let's talk some hockey with our good friend Bobby the Chief Taylor, Bally Sports analyst. What's up, Chief? How you doing?
He's not on yet. I'm still trying to get him. Once again.
Come on, man.
I know. Is he out walking his dog again?
That's probably my fault. I didn't remind him. But yeah, probably. Yeah. That's, Chief's he is a dog lover.
We all are, man. Love me the good pup.
Yeah. But we got Johnny coming up right after this, so we'll have to get him on quick here.
Yep. Trying it again. Let me try it one more time.
All right, that's cool. Little information about tonight's game against the Philadelphia Flyers. The Lightning have won the last 8 games in Philadelphia. Can you imagine what Torts is telling his team right now in the locker room at the pregame skate? Listen, you sons of bitches, you have lost 8 straight at home to this team. Can you not defend your home ice? Can you not defend your home ice? They are 9-1 in their last 10 trips up to Philadelphia. So you know that the Lightning and the Flyers. This should be a very emotional and physical game tonight, I would expect. By the way, Brandon Hagel on a 13-game heater. I think he has 18 points over those 13 games. That's the longest active streak in the NHL right now, scoring streak. And he is he's had a good run against Philadelphia. And Cooch, last time we were in Philadelphia, which was in January, I believe, we win 6-3, and Cooch had 4 points. So I bet he's going to be a marked man tonight. We got him on, Timmy?
I'm connecting Bluetooth.
Okay. All right. So we'll see tonight. This should be a very spirited game, especially with the Lightning coming off 2 big wins over the weekend, getting those 4 points with teams that are chasing them, which is huge. Huge. There it is. I hear him. I hear Bobby the Chief or Darth Vader. One of the two. I did a show with Darth Vader on Saturday night, Star Wars night. What's up, Chief? How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, JP. Darth Vader, you did a show with?
Yeah, when I do on Star Wars night, I do my intermission report, and I get invaded by all these kooky Star Wars characters. Boba Fett comes in, Darth Vader comes in, Chewie usually comes in, Chewbacca. So yeah, I have to sit there and here I am trying to be a professional broadcaster. Right? Doing I've got Franzone in one ear, I got Darth Vader breathing heavy in the other ear, and I'm supposed to be flawless in my presentation on television. I mean, it's not easy, Chief. I mean, this is what I do.
I hear it.
This is what I do.
I hear you.
I'll send it down to you next time and see if you like it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, great weekend for the team up in the New York area, getting a couple wins against the Devils and the Islanders. Let's talk about those 2 W's, and what we learned is when they don't allow a lot of goals, they win, right?
Okay, exactly. How many times have you been hearing me moaning and groaning about the way they play defense? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I sound like that broken record all the time.
Yeah, but you're right.
You know what? I was so impressed with the Jersey game, especially the third period. They only had 3 shots. Now Jersey might be the best off the rush team in the league right now, and they just couldn't do anything. And I kept, JP. I mean, it's not rocket science that we're talking about here. It's just some very simple math in a sense. If you stop them at the blue line, they can't get in your zone to get set up and move the puck around like crazy, no matter what team you play. And they did that consistently in the third period. Consequently, Jersey only had 3 shots on goal.
To me, would they go 11-7 this weekend, or certainly on Sunday? Max Crozier was in there. Stamkos moved down to the third line. Talk to me a little bit about these changes and how that worked out on the ice for him.
Well, I think a little bit nervous, I guess, having a Crozier there. Crozier is one of the more steady guys they got back there.
Yeah.
In my mind, I mean, this kid I think could be really, really good. And you know how they crave that right shot, left shot matchup, and he's a right shot defenseman. And for me, on that right side, give him another 10 games, he should probably be the best right shot defenseman we got. And but I think that when it works, he's used it quite a bit, Cooper, over his tenure here. And what it does is it moves his top guns around more. Like Cooch and Point and even Stammer. They can play on different lines. Now that makes it a very difficult matchup, especially when you're on the road, when the home team has that final change. So they can't get certain guys out against, Cooch is going to be shadowed no matter where he goes for the rest of the year. You can figure that one out. But, Point and Stammer can get loose now. And, I think because there isn't a team in the league that has 3 good checking lines.
Right.
We're lucky if you have one. Yeah, we're lucky if you have one. So it recreates a matchup problem for the visiting coach, or not for the visiting, for the hometown coach, and it clears them up. And you know what? It gives them more ice time too, in my mind. One less Jiku they get a little bit more minutes on ice, and now they got your dangerous guys out there more often.
Yeah, I like that. It just adds a little depth to the scoring, right? So I love that part of it. And is it? I mean, a guy like Stammer, obviously a future Hall of Famer here. Is there any, I don't know, mental part of this, or when you get moved down to a third line? I mean, how does that work in the player's mind?
Well, for me, I don't think it is a third line. To me,
exactly.
It really should be third line.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to make him an offensive player, and he's decent, but his biggest assets are his strongest suit is defense.
Right.
And he's a tremendous third center. He's a good checker. He's a really good penalty killer. And if you're putting a little more pressure on him to score on that second unit, now then he gets away from what he does the best. And you can't have that. That's we've talked about that throughout the year. The biggest difference between this team and our teams that we had that won the cup and everything, that the third line, the fourth line all knew what they were supposed to do, and they played within their structure. That's what's been the biggest problem for this team right now, is that a lot of guys haven't really decided that they have to be what they're supposed to be in order to win. They all want to be like Cooch and Point, and that don't work. They don't have the ability to do that.
Right, exactly. You mentioned the other coach. That would be John Tortorella here tonight against the Flyers. I was just reading that the Lightning, I didn't know this, but they have won 8 straight in Philadelphia. 8 straight games they've won in Philadelphia. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm like, I think that might be a point of contention for Torts in the pregame speech, you think?
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean, but they're such a surprise club.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, I mean, who would have thought? I didn't even think that. I mean, Keith Jones has done a tremendous job of coming in there and really getting them back to the culture of winning that they've had for years there. And they're doing a pretty good job. And they play a very hard game. They're a physical team as they have been in years past. But I think one of the things that they don't score a lot. And but for me, it's a matter of and we're getting into the time of the year where I don't think you're going to see a lot of huge scores. Of course, there goes that right out the door when I finish saying that 7-6 loss that they had Philadelphia with Pittsburgh. But I think it's something where every team now is going to be more physical, be much more harder on the puck. So it's going to be a lot more difficult to score now because everybody that's in the hunt for the playoffs is going to be playing more tight playoff hockey.
Right. Bobby the Chief Jailer joining us here as we preview tonight's Flyers Lightning game. The Lightning will be back for a 5-game homestand over 2 weeks, so they're going to get some rest here, Chief. The bad news is other teams are going to be making up those games in hand, so they're probably going to lose some ground in the standings. That just makes tonight's game all that much more important, right?
Exactly. Right now they've got to make sure they put. You got to win 80% of your games just to stay in the hunt. Because of the fact that, look at Toronto. I mean, for me, I think they should stop looking up above. Toronto's got 3 games in hand on them.
Right.
And, 5 points. So I think what you have to look at is just making sure that the guys below you stay below you.
Yeah.
And that's the key then, because you're in a playoff position right now. So you don't, hey, if you can keep those guys below you and keep winning, who knows? You might be able to climb up into that third spot, but you got to protect yourself to make sure you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, Toronto has won, 7 in a row, 8 of their last 10. They're at 74 points. The Lightning are at 69 points. Yeah, and with the games in hand, that's going to be a tough catch. You're absolutely right. Now, the Red Wings are just in front of them as well by 1 point. So, and they've got a couple games in hand as well. So, yeah, all these 2 points are important, Chief. No question about it. Any other matchup things you're looking at tonight in this game?
Well, you know what? I mean, obviously our goaltending has to be good because there are those stretches and they're getting fewer now, though I have to say that, or those wide open chances, But for me, it's just, if you just limit time and space with the puck, that's the key for me. And, we back off so quickly to protect the middle of the ice. Boy, that drives me nuts when I keep hearing that. But anyway, I think you just I keep saying it. You've heard me say this so many times over the years when you and I have been doing this show, JP. It's like always Wayne Cashman when he would talk to guys about staying after the blue line, not allowing them in. He says, would you like to jump in front of a bus going 2 miles an hour or 22 miles an hour?
Yeah.
And that's what you always say. And get them before they get their speed up.
Yeah.
And that's where the neutral zone is a very big factor in strong defense. If you can really clog that up there, that really shuts down the team's speed. They can't get the speed as they hit the blue line. So if you're making the moves and checking them in that middle zone, you got a good chance of keeping them out of your zone.
All right, Chief. Thanks, man, for your time this morning. Enjoy the great weather out there. Go walk the dog. Have a great morning. We'll be watching hockey tonight. Be watching you on Bally. 7 o'clock tonight is the puck drop. Pregame 6:30. So thanks, partner.
You got it. All right, Gabe. Thanks, AP.
All right, see you. The great Bobby the Chief Taylor right there. Something to watch tonight. You got something to watch tonight.
Yep, that's true. That's true. We ready for Johnny, or are we going to break?
Let's take a break. Okay. All right, let's take a break. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about the Florida swing. Here comes the PGA Tour to Florida. We had a little preview last night with the match. I don't know if you watched that. I watched a little bit of it last night. It was an exciting finish. Was it? I didn't know. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I might have been predisposed. I'll tell you. I bet you were. I'll tell you all about it. That's why you're hungover. When we come back with PGA Pro Johnny Gerber. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Start the new year with a new diamond from the Gold and Diamond Source. It's still engagement season. Where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? Of course, I just got mine there. I'm engaged. You should do the same thing. Let's go. Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country. A literal jewelry superstore with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. And if you have a loved one or a special person in your life who has a birthday this month, maybe you have an anniversary coming up, you can get 15% off the January birthstone, which is garnet, as in garnet and gold for all your Seminoles. Celebrate that mythical national championship. And it's the Gold and Diamond Source's 40th anniversary. For the past 40 years, they have taken pride in offering only natural diamonds formed over billions of years from the Earth's incredible forces. And gold prices are at an all-time high. Now's your chance to turn your jewelry box into a cash machine. It's the perfect time to trade in your broken or unworn pieces for something new and stunning. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, time to talk a little golf. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Bay Area Modern Medical Center on this Testosterone Tuesday. Get your testosterone right at BAMMC.com. Get your body working like it should. Your workouts will be better because you're actually building muscle again. Your libido will be better. That's always good, right? As we get older, everything works better when your testosterone is right, folks.
Libido's good.
Libido is good. BAMMC.com is where you need to go. All right. The Florida Swing begins this week with the newly named Cognizant Open, which is the old Honda. I'm guessing they change all the time. We got Johnny on.
He is here.
Yeah, good morning, guys. How are you?
We're good. It's the Florida Swing time, baby. Here we go. They're coming to. They'll be in Tampa in 3 weeks?
Yeah, what a great time. I love this Florida Swing for a lot of reasons. You know, I've played most of these golf courses, and I followed this, especially this event, the old Honda. And unfortunately, they lost their sponsorship this year and changed over to Cognizant. I mean, Honda was one of the largest running sponsors on the PGA Tour. It was unfortunate, but the golf course is still the same. They're playing at PGA National, one of the hardest golf courses on the PGA Tour, and certainly has the most water on any course of the PGA Tour. So it's an interesting week starting the Florida Swing, and then you have Bay Hill, and then you have the Players, and then be around your area in Tampa. So this is a great time for Florida and a great time for golf.
Indeed it is. Honda is gone. Wells Fargo has pulled out. There have been a lot of major sponsors that have pulled out of the PGA Tour this year. What's going on with that, Johnny? Is it just, they've been doing it for so long, they're not getting the bang for the buck? It's getting too expensive. What's happening with the sponsorships here?
Well, I think a little bit of all that, really. I mean, if the long running sponsors, obviously, unfortunately, leave them, but maybe the uncertainty of the PGA Tour, what's going on with LIV, and some of these star players that are going over. I mean, what's the value of some of these big companies when you can't get the big names to come and play in your event? That's the hard part. They want that value. They want the big names. In this week, and I feel bad a little bit for Valspar because it's such a great tournament and it's such a great golf course. I know the players love going there, but it fits, in a weird part of the schedule, and it's not a signature event coming right after the Players Championship. So some of these are going to suffer, but thank God Valspar sticking around. But the firepower, I think, that's not getting these players, the guys that are going to LIV, I think it certainly hurts.
Yeah, and good for Valspar. They've put together a really good field already. They've got Jordan Spieth is coming, Xander Schauffele. I think they've got 8 of the top 25 players in their field, which for a non-signature event is fantastic. So they've Tracy West and Rondé Barber have done a great job of filling up that field. And of course, we got the Cole Swindell concert on Saturday night. So that's good. You get with your ticket. So they do a great job. Fans first. They won the award for putting fans first on the PGA Tour. So they've done a great job. They're hoping for another huge gallery out there. So, but you're right. And we talked about this a little last week with Gary Koch. These signature events are, obviously circled by the players. Rory is playing 3 weeks in a row, but he won't be playing at Valspar. But it's good to have Rory playing this week, which I don't think he's played this tournament in a long time. So he's back in after winning 2.5 million for his charity last night. Is that what he won in the match? You watch any of that?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I enjoy some of those kind of laid back events. Rory certainly moves the needle, and then you bring Rozang and Lexi in there. It certainly brings a different perspective on the lady side. And Tim's guy, that Max Homa, certainly brings a different element to it. But some of those things are fun. But I don't know. I think Rory, is trying to do everything he can to promote the game now. It's kind of put on his shoulders a little bit, but it was fun. It was fun. It was good to see. It was good to see that, and exciting things next week. I know you mentioned about the tournament, the ladies event going to Feather Sound, which is, as you said, it's a great golf course. They redid it a few years ago. One of my good friends, Johnny Renaud is the director of golf there, and he was really excited about the event. So good things in that Tampa area for sure in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Johnny, we've had sorry,
ahead,
JP,
Tim.
go ahead.
No,
we've
go
had
ahead.
3 first-time winners already this season. You and I talked about it last night on the From the Rough podcast. We've had, of course, the amateur Nick Dunlap has won. Matthew Pavon has won. And now this past weekend, my new guy, I still like Max Homa, but I think Jake Knapp's my new guy, as I missed out on, by 2 weeks, him winning for me. But is this, with these three guys that we've had now, and it's very early still in the season, is this a product of the whole live golf thing and some guys defecting to go over there and the so-called, watered down talent that we have on the PGA Tour now?
That's a good question. I think it's a little bit of not just that. I think it's a little bit, the guys are really good. I mean, really, the PGA Tour is in terms of player-wise, and even the DP World Tour and golf in general is in such a good place. It just goes to show there's guys that can play that you may have never heard of, and then given these opportunities to play in Mexico, and then in next week they're going to play an alternate field event also in Puerto Rico. These guys can play all the way around the world, and it's just given those opportunities. And these guys aren't mad that they're winning. These young guys that are winning, they're not mad. These guys are going over to live golf because it just gives them more opportunities. And it happens, every year. You'll get 2 or 3 first-time winners, the guys you may never heard of. I mean, who heard of Scotty Scheffler 4 or 5 years ago? Really? And that's just how he got his run playing in some of these, lesser tier events. Same with Jordan Spieth, winning the John Deere kind of catapulted his career. So I'm all for getting these young guys, starts on the PGA Tour for sure.
Yeah, that said, I think Timmy's right that there, and you as well. It does look watered down. I mean, the PGA Tour event this weekend and the Mexico Open, I don't even know what that was. I didn't recognize anybody on that leaderboard at all. And so that's kind of where I'm at with the PGA Tour right now. There's been a lot of weeks where I turn it on Sunday and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? I think it's a problem for the tour right now. They've got to find some solution with these live players. They got to get a bunch of them back week to week playing, at least in my opinion. I don't know what that solution is. This is big money way over my head, but I don't know. I think golf's in trouble right now. I really do.
Yeah. For the consumer, the general consumer, certainly, they're not bringing eyeballs. The guys that are playing some of these events, they're not bringing eyeballs to the TV because they want to see the stars. But for the people in the know of golf, we don't definitively think it's a bad thing because you never know who that next up and coming rising star is. So the balance is tough, but I certainly do think the PGA Tour is in trouble, and I think they're going to have to push the envelope a little bit to get this merger done with Live Golf in some sort of fashion. It's just really going to happen. And you're seeing a little bit of a change in some of these, especially with the Masters coming up here soon, is they're giving more exemptions in more categories so they can fill that field.
Yeah.
And that's a tough thing, so some of these guys that just didn't jump out of that top 50 that are playing the Live Tour that would have been in the Masters, but they're not getting those world ranking points, and now they're not going to play unless you're a past champion. So, yeah, they're scattering a little bit, but there certainly has to be something done, and I certainly believe that there's a way to coexist.
And I think you mentioned the Masters. They invited Joaquin Niemann, who certainly, is on the Live Tour and has won some out there. But when the Masters put out the press release, they didn't mention anything about what he'd done on the Live Tour. So this was more of you won the Latin American Amateur, which obviously is something that gets a spot in the Masters from years previous when he won it. But that doesn't carry over, so they had to give him a special exemption. I think that's the right thing to do. And I think the Masters is going to make sure they have the best players on the planet playing every year, bar none. I can't think of anybody who's going to miss this year. Can you? That's on that's reserving. That's on the Live Tour and doesn't have the world ranking points.
Yeah, not off the top of my head, potentially not. But that's always a short and limited field, anyways. They're always around 80 to 90 players, and I think the Joaquin Niemann, he wouldn't have fit that category in the past. But I think getting a guy like that who can kind of bring that South America audience to the Masters certainly helps, and that's something they certainly need to do. And you look at some of the other events that they've created, like the African Amateur. That wasn't existing 2 years ago. So they put another category. The winner of that gets in. So they're trying to being broad a little bit to try to fill that field. I think currently there might only be 60 players in the Masters that have, I think they want to try to get to 80, and there potentially could open up some categories to get some of these guys in.
Yep. Johnny Gerber, PGA Pro, joining us here. I don't know if we've talked about this, but what is the update on the ball situation? I know that they made some rules that are going to take effect in the future. Was that kind of a trial balloon stuff when they put it out there? Are they still serious about making a uniform ball for the PGA Tour? Where are we at with that?
Yeah, it's looking like I think they gave him about a 2-year window, shall I say, to really kind of narrow it down and see if it's going to really work. I think there was so much backlash at the beginning. Yeah. I think they're going to kind of think about it a little bit. It's not set in stone that they are going to do it. My opinion, I think it's a bad move. My opinion, I just think for the manufacturers and things like that, I think it puts a little bit of strain on the ball. In the different categories for the ball and having so many different golf balls. But I think they're going to play around with it and see what the audience really says about it before they make it really official and make it mandatory.
Okay. All right. Let's get into this week and who we think might make us some money. Rory McIlroy, as I mentioned, returns for the first time since 2018. He's played here a lot, but not since 2018. He's a former champion. I'm guessing he would be at the top of your board, but you always look for value since he's probably going to be the favorite. He's probably not going to be in your picks, but let me hear him. What do you got?
Yeah, we're looking. It's a little early. We'll post these picks out tomorrow, official picks, as we always do. Top three outright winners, a long shot, 2 top 10s and top 20s. But certainly, I have a few guys that I'm looking at. I mean, it's very difficult to get away from the Georgia guys. I mean, if you look at all these Georgia guys, there's four past winners of the Honda or Cognizant that went to University of Georgia. So you have Henley, Straka, Mitchell, and Kirk. So these guys certainly know the golf course, love the golf course because it's very similar grass that they play in that Georgia area. It's a very old school course, Bermuda. So these guys in Georgia really like that stuff. So look for some of these Georgia guys to potentially do well, like a Henley, Russell Henley. I kind of like the trending of Steven Yeager. He's played well. He's going to win this year. And it's not an overly long golf course. It's more strategic. As I said, it has the most water on the PGA Tour. So maybe for a guy like Rory, it's going to take the driver away from him and play a little bit more strategic. But this Steven Yeager, he's kind of up and coming. I really like the way he's playing, especially last week in his last round. But I'm kind of waiting for Cam Young to do something. Is this a good spot? Is this a good spot for him? I mean, I know. He's a long hitter, and I just think strategic-wise, I think he's going to do really well. And, look at Shane Lowry also. Shane Lowry has a great track record here. He's finished second here 3 times. So I think if you look at some of those guys, potentially some of those guys, the Georgia guys, I can't pick Keith Mitchell because I've been picking him every week and he's been killing us. So I'm going to pass on. Yes, he made the bad list. He made the bad. I think he got in the tequila in the first round. Last week in Mexico because he started off 5 over after 3 holes. So we're going to pass on Keith Mitchell, even though he's a Georgia guy this week.
What about Eric Cole, who lost to the playoff last year? Has got 5 top 25s this year, T10 at Genesis. So he might be a guy, he'll be a value pick, I imagine. Yeah,
the thing with he knows the golf course probably better than anyone. He kind of grew up in he lives right there. He's a grinder, but I'm kind of worried about has he played too much golf? Right? He's played a lot of golf. He's a guy that plays a lot of golf, and with the next couple weeks with the Bay Hill and the Players Championship, maybe his focus is a little bit focused on those bigger events. But he's certainly going to be, probably finish in that top 20 or so. But I just don't know. I need to see a little bit more out of Eric Cole in those last rounds. I know he's had a couple opportunities to win, but he just hadn't been able to do it, and it's tough. It's a tough thing.
All right,
he's been in that spot a lot.
All right. One last thing about the match last night. I don't know how much you watched, but so it comes down to they're playing the last hole for $1.6 million. One skin for $1.6 million. Now they halved it in birdie because Rory hit it in 2, but couldn't make the eagle putt. And then they did like a closest to the pin from 100 yards, and Rory almost knocked it in. hit it, hit it to like 4 feet. But the ladies, certainly Lexi and Rose. Yeah, they really held their own. That was kind of entertaining last night. I like the fact that they worked the ladies in there, and we'll see Lexi Thompson here next week at the tournament at Feather Sound. So
yeah, one of the cool things is, I mean, did you notice how far Lexi hits a golf ball? I mean, she can compete with the guys when it comes to that, and that's a big advantage for her. Rose isn't nearly that long, but her precision is certainly as good as anybody on the PGA Tour. So that gap between the ladies, and it's great that they're doing this. So these guys, as the general public and the general consumer of golf, can see that these ladies can really play, and that gap is really narrowing between the ladies and the men's when it comes to length, talent, and things like that. So it's really good to see. And two of those personalities like Rose, you'll see, she's kind of stoic most of the time, but her personality came out a little bit. Yeah. And certainly Lexi moves the needle in ladies golf.
Well, I will say to the Capital One sponsors, I'd much rather see lady professional golfers than Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce playing golf like they did.
No doubt.
So I think that was definitely an upgrade. No, and we're sick of those two anyway. All right, my friend, tell everybody how they can get your content from the Rough Podcast, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're from the Rough Podcast on FanStream Sports. We will be we do our live show Mondays and Wednesdays. We're going to start some Saturday shows. I know we keep saying that, but we're going to certainly start some Saturday shows.
Saying that for 2 years, Johnny.
Yeah, I know. 5 o'clock Central, and then we'll be posting. You can follow me on Jay Gerber PGA Pro. We'll be posting our picks on Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll be doing our matchups on Saturday and Sunday if we like something that we like after the cut is made. But this is the swing that we really make some hay. We're a little bit in the red right now, but we were last year, and these next 4 weeks is really where we're going to cash in and make some money for everybody.
All right, let's do that. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on. Thanks.
Yeah. So the tournament coming up next week is the Aramco team tournament, and it's going to be a different format. They have 3 pros, 3 female European ladies pros, and then there'll be some American players in there as well. Lexi Thompson's playing, Brittany Lincecum playing, so there'll be a couple more of those that you know, locals here. Brittany was at the press conference yesterday. She's excited to play. She was out there at Feather Sound, shot 65, I think.
Oh, wow.
So this is one of her home courses. She loves the course. It's kind of wide open. It'll play longer for the ladies. So I think that definitely favors Brittany. But it's interesting because there's an amateur. It's a 4-man team or 4-person team, and the amateur score counts as well. So, yeah, exactly. So I asked her, I said, how are you going to coach them up when they're on the first tee and there's a few thousand people watching them tee up that ball and they're, peeing down their leg. How you going to coach them up on that? She's like, well, you got to just kind of let them know that they don't do this for a living and we do. Depend on your pro. If they can help us out where they get some shots, that's great. If not, have fun. And I'm like, oh yeah, good luck with that.
I guess my future ex-wife isn't going to be there, Nelly Corda.
No, she won't be, unfortunately. Yeah, I asked about that. I'm like, yeah, and they're kind of getting a little bit of a late start in terms of marketing it. Yeah. So people will probably be like, well, I hadn't even really heard of it. Well, they're just, it's Europe. The PIF fund, which is the Saudi fund, is bankrolling this series of events or Aramco team events. And Aramco is the Saudi petroleum company that puts their name on these events. And basically, they put up a lot of money. I think it's over $37 million for the ladies. So, their feeling is we want to, and a lot of this money is going into programs for young ladies to learn golf. So this is, something that they want to do is empower young ladies and even older ladies to pick up the game of golf. In order to, because it's always been kind of a male-dominated sport. Obviously, that is changing, but it's also, and Brittany talked about this yesterday. Women in business need to learn how to play golf. It's a big part of business, and so they're, part of this. Their whole dynamic and their push is to create programs for young girls to learn golf for later on in life, and even older ladies to get involved in the game as well. So that's part of what they're trying to promote out there. I know there's, a lot of bad press around that, all that stuff. It is what it is. I think we're all learning that, the more we look into it, there's Saudi money everywhere. And if you're trying to pick and choose which events you're going to watch or so much of my problem with Live Golf is not that, it's quote dirty Saudi money. I'm not real happy about that, but I'm also a realist. I understand there's, all money is dirty. If you want to get right down to it,
yep.
If you want to find me some companies that are completely altruistic and, show me.
I dare you.
There aren't any.
Exactly.
This just in, there aren't any. You want to show me, governments that are squeaky clean? There aren't any.
No such thing.
Yeah, no such thing, including your own, by the way, if you're an American.
Yep.
I'm kind of over that part of it. What I hate about Live Golf is that they screwed up my PGA Tour. That's what I hate about it. I don't get to see the players I want to see on a weekly basis. So I'm kind of over that whole part of it. So I hope you guys don't get stuck on that part of it. It's going to be a fun tournament, great field out there. It's going to be beautiful setup. So go online, buy your tickets, and enjoy the event. It's going to be fun. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. TJ Reeves is going to join us in our second hour. We'll talk a little bit more Bucks. There's some breaking news as far as cuts and what's going on. Jason Light's going to be talking to the assembled media. Todd Bowles already spoke this morning at the Combine, so we'll get into all that when we come back. We're brought to you by Italiano Insurance, the best customer service there is, folks. I've been using them for years and years. Charity is my agent over there, and she goes above and beyond the call of duty constantly, dealing with these insurance companies, so I don't have to sit on the phone for 45 minutes and wait in voicemail hell. She does that for me, which is nice, and it's worth the money right there. 813-877-7790, and they're going to save you money. You're not even paying them to do this. They're going to save you money. How good is that? 813-877-7799. Back in 3.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity, at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement cost, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. It will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on this testosterone-fueled Tuesday. That sounds even better, doesn't it?
Testosterone taco fueled Tuesday.
Testosterone. Who doesn't want a testosterone taco? That just sounds bad, doesn't it? I don't know.
We can have one for lunch, I think.
Yeah, I think you better get one. There's a lot of double entendres going on there with the testosterone taco. That's for sure. Brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center and the Gold and Diamond Source. Always a great time to, if you screwed up Valentine's Day, get your butt over to the Gold and Diamond Source and take care of that. If you're looking to get engaged, that's the place to go. Looking for a baller watch, looking for one of those Rolex watches or tags, they got a great selection there, so go check that out. Always the best prices, and if you want to get rid of some of that old jewelry that you don't wear anymore, they pay the best for gold and silver. Everything you want right there under one roof at the Gold and Diamond Source. Easy in, easy out. Great folks. Keep it local at the Gold and Diamond Source. All right, we got breaking news from the Combine. Raheem Morris, our good friend Coach Raw, was at the podium today. This is from Rick Stroud's Twitter at the Times. Falcons coach Raheem Morris on the quarterback position, whether he would consider Baker Mayfield. Quote, obviously when you talk about this, I won't bring up names because I'm not going to tell reporters anything that I want to give him because he'll let all you guys know. But when you go into the process, you have everything open, right? Question mark. We got so many avenues right now because we have free agency money. We have the ability to trade, whether it be trading for a player with another team or would they be trained up or back in a draft. Each is really about having a different scenario. Blah, 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 blah. You got option A, you can get option B, option C, blah, blah, blah. I'm reading this as we go. So basically he said, sure, it's an option. It's an option. And from some of his other earlier quotes I read, it looks like they're leaning more towards an experienced quarterback. Like, I don't think they're looking to move up in the draft to get a rookie quarterback, which is interesting. Now, of course, could be a smokescreen, right? They could make a trade tomorrow to move up into the top three. Who knows? But I do get a sense that with the staff that he's put together and also his experience with the Rams. I mean, what was his experience with the Rams? They made a trade for an experienced quarterback and they won the Super Bowl. So I still feel like Justin Fields is so much of a better fit there. And I think, Tim, it's not just about X's and O's, right? The NFL is entertainment, is it not? Isn't the object is to win, but here's the secret. The object is to make money. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're in the business. For the players, the coaches, they also are in it to make money. But, owners want to win. Yes, there's no question about that. But they also like to make money. And if you go out and get a Baker Mayfield, now the thing is about that, you don't have to give up any compensation. If you go out and get Justin Fields, you're going to have to give up compensation, and it's significant. It may not be a number one. It may be a number one. It might be. Might cost you that. But it's going to be at least a 2 and maybe a 2 and a 3 to get Justin Fields. I think that's what I've kind of seen.
Yeah.
Right. Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, absolutely.
So keep that in mind. Now, the Falcons have a pretty good roster, but who doesn't need a second and third round pick? everybody needs second and third round picks. So there's, for them, it certainly would behoove them to look at Baker Mayfield. Now, do they think Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield? They might think that, but they also have to understand.
I think that.
Yeah. You think that?
I think that too. Yeah.
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 You think Justin Fields has more upside than Baker?
No, I thought you said the other way around. Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback than Justin Fields. That's what I think.
Even in the future.
Yeah. I think Baker Mayfield right now, even if he has reached his ceiling at this point of his career, I think he's better than Justin Fields will ever be. I think we've seen Justin Fields' ceiling, and I think Justin Fields' ceiling is right now. I think this is what he is.
Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah, you're a little higher on him than I am. I know for sure.
I think I've seen enough of him to think that he can. Baker's really good. Baker's been really, really good. So I don't want to dismiss him at all.
Yeah.
I think, betting man, if I had to make a bet on it, do I ever think Justin Fields is going to put up a season like Baker Mayfield did this year? Mm-hmm. I think he could equal that. Could he be significantly better? No. Could he be significantly worse? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, but here's the thing about the Falcons. Justin Fields is from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. He's a hometown kid. There's, I've talked to my friends in Atlanta. The Falcons are still taking crap for passing on him in the draft. Because look what they did. They've not found a quarterback.
Yeah.
They've not found a quarterback. So, there's still, so this is a situation where, and it's interesting because Atlanta had the chance to hire Raheem Morris as their full-time coach when he was the interim coach. And he did, I think he went 3-5. It wasn't bad, but I remember it being, that he did a pretty good job, as I recall. I'd have to go, break it down, but obviously they hired him back. So they thought he did a pretty good job. So they're trying to right a lot of wrongs. They brought back Raheem to be their head coach. And, now do they want to right that wrong of missing Justin Fields? And I'm just here to tell you, if as a fan base, if they get Baker Mayfield over Justin Fields, that fan base is going to revolt again. Like they're already pissed about missing on Justin once. You miss on him twice. So I don't, if I'm Arthur Blank, it's kind of a weird situation you're in. And he's, it's not like he's a hands-off owner.
Yeah.
It's not like he wants to be beloved. He wants to be relevant again. He wants the energy. Right now the Braves own that town, man. The Braves own Atlanta, and he knows it. And the one way he can make one move to get that front page back, go get Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And that play, you will sell out you sell out the Mercedes-Benz Dome. You'll have so much energy for this team. Will he be better than Baker? I don't know, but they're certainly going to be relevant again in Atlanta. And I think that carries a lot of weight. It carries a lot of weight.
And like you said, the business is
that's good for the Bucks, by the way.
Yeah, the business is to make money, right? To make money, you got to sell tickets. You got to put butts in the seats at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Dome, whatever the hell it's called. Who's going to sell more tickets, Justin Fields or Baker Mayfield? Regardless of the record, it's Justin Fields.
Yeah.
That's what the fan base wants. By the way, I've been monitoring all of the chatter at the Combine here the last couple of days, and it's all hot and heavy today because all the GMs and coaches and owners that are there are all speaking. It's all coming off across X. Terry Fontenot, GM of the Falcons, has already spoken today, and he's on record saying we're looking for a quarterback this season. Look, dude, they have rolled through Marcus Mariota. They've rolled through Desmond Ridder. They've rolled through Taylor Heineke. None of those guys are the guy, right? I mean, that's Ridder was a huge stretch. It was a reach, and it didn't work. God, who would have saw that coming? But he has also mentioned the names Justin Fields, Baker Mayfield, and Kirk Cousins as the guys that they are looking at. Well, Kirk Cousins is a free agent. Baker Mayfield is a free agent. But like you said, to go get Justin Fields, who may be the guy they want, you're going to have to give up quite a bit. They have the number 8 pick. You're not going to draft a quarterback again. You're not doing that. Not with number 8. There's not going to be anybody worth taking at number 8. But you can certainly use that in your package for the Bears, right? So,
Yeah, I don't know if they want to give up the number 8 pick to get Justin Fields. I think that's too much. I think that's too much compensation. It's like Air Cecil says here, and he's right. Fields has lasted a ton of key stat categories over the last couple of years. He's a great athlete, but a bad quarterback. I just, and that's 100% true. The numbers don't lie, but look at what he's been dealing with. Sure. Look at coaching staff, the dysfunction that is the Chicago Bears, the lack of real weapons on that team. I mean, I don't know if any quarterback would have flourished in that system. I just don't know of anyone. So that's why I'm not standing on a soapbox for Justin Fields. I'm just saying, for me, his grade is not A, B, C, D. It's incomplete. I don't know what he is. I saw a lot of good stuff at the end of last year. I can tell you that. I saw a lot of good stuff at the end of last year.
Yeah.
And, say what you want, but these mobile, great athletic quarterbacks are the wave of the future in the NFL. And there are offenses that you can put him in where he can be effective and not necessarily have to be, that drop back passer, win from the pocket type guy, because he's got so many other attributes. So I do think there's a huge part of relevancy that he brings to the Atlanta Falcons in that marketplace that carries a lot of weight with Arthur Blank. But again, it could have come down to compensation. I just, when it comes to Baker Mayfield and the Falcons, I don't see it as a good fit in terms of for Baker. Yes, he has some connection with Ra, and he has some connection with Zach Robinson. Those guys were at the Rams when he was there. It's not like it's a complete unknown, and they've got weapons. There's no question about it. But I think Baker feels a loyalty to the Buccaneers. I sense that when he talks. I sense that when we've talked to him. I've asked him a lot of questions over this year, and I've asked him that specific question. And I think he's absolutely genuine in his answers. He doesn't want to sit here and go, I'm coming back no matter what. Whatever the pay, I'll take a hometown. He's not saying any of that. He's not gonna decrease his value. He wants to be in control. And if he wants to take a little bit of less money to get Mike Evans signed or whoever, let it be up to him. But he's not going to throw it out there that I'm just going to take a hometown discount.
Right.
So, but I think he's going to be.
He shouldn't. He doesn't have a lot of contracts left.
No, he doesn't. Somebody in here said they think. Sorry if I can't find your comment here, folks, but they said he thinks Baker's going to hit the open market. I don't think he will. I don't think Baker will hit the open market. I think he's going to come to a deal with the Buccaneers before he hits the open market. I think Mike might. I think Mike hit the open market. I think the Bucs may be willing to let him establish his value, because as much as we love Mike Evans, you can envision a world without him and the Bucs being successful next year if you have Baker Mayfield. Put it the other way around. If you don't have Baker Mayfield, who you got? Kyle Trask? Okay. I'm interested to see what he could do. Yeah. Man, I'd much rather have the known in Baker Mayfield than the unknown in Kyle Trask, or the unknown in Michael Penix, or the unknown in Bo Nix. No, thank you. Let me and with the salary cap going up, it's almost paying him $30 million is almost free, because it's going up 30, 35 million. And obviously it is for everybody, but just in terms of where you're at on the cap, this is a good time to pay Baker Mayfield $30, $35 million. Because think of you got the continuity with the OC, not total continuity. Obviously Canales has moved on, but you got Liam Cohen, who knows him well. They're bros. You see that. The reason Liam Cohen is here is because of Baker Mayfield. So I just can't see them letting him get away, even if they have to overpay him. I just don't see him getting away. Well, and I don't see anybody breaking the bank for Baker Mayfield. I don't see the Falcons throwing $50 million a year at Baker Mayfield. And I think that's what it's going to take to get him out of Tampa.
Yeah, they may throw 40 at him.
Yeah, which he'll take 35 here and before he goes 40 there.
Right. And here's the deal. Look, you want to compete in the South. That's the whole point. You just won the South. You made the playoffs, and you did it with Baker. Baker Mayfield right now is the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah.
You have the best quarterback in the division. If he goes somewhere else, whoever you sign probably won't be the best quarterback in the division. If you go with Kyle Trask, he's not going to be the best quarterback in the division. So keep your division titles. Keep defending your division titles, and you're going to do that with Baker Mayfield. And it's going to cost you 30 to 35 a year. Know that going into it, and it's going to be worth every penny. You're going to keep winning.
Right. Yeah.
Whether you keep Mike or not, and you probably will. You're going to have to pay for Mike. That's fine. But even without Mike, I think you still win the division next year.
With a very, very deep draft class in wide receivers.
Yes.
If you lose Mike, you draft one in the first round. Is he going to be Mike Evans? No. Is he going to be younger and cheaper and faster? Probably. Will he become Mike Evans? Probably not.
Probably not.
But
you can always hope.
It's give and take. You still have Chris Godwin. You might sign a veteran to come in. I think we got a lot more to see in David Moore.
Yeah.
Played sparingly, but had 2 great catch and runs. I don't know why he didn't play more. It seems to me another one of those situations where the Bucs don't play the right people for whatever reason. That guy needs to see more time. So I think it's easier to find really good wide receivers than it is quarterbacks. I think that is a no-brainer. So I think Bake signs before free agency. I think Mike Evans might test the market, but I think in the end they'll both be back.
By the way, Calvin Ridley's available out there if you want to go get a guy. Look, and he's not Mike Evans.
Wow.
He's not Mike Evans, but dude, you'll get him for $10 million less than you could get Mike Evans for.
I'll bet on that.
So, I'm just saying there's options. It's if you lose Mike Evans, all is not lost.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll keep monitoring the stuff that's coming out of the combine. Do you see anything else out there that has kind of hit you?
Of course, I've been watching the Ravens stuff because as soon as we're off the air, I got to write about 20 articles on the Ravens at the combine.
There you go.
Apparently, Eric DeCosta, the GM of the Ravens, is in touch with Odell Beckham Jr., who is a free agent, of course, after they just paid him $16 million for 35 catches and less than 600 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Robbery. We knew that at the time. That was a stupid deal.
It was a bad deal, man. I was all for him playing there, but, dude, that was a bad contract. But they're interested in bringing him back, apparently. So, and they're apparently – he said that they will most likely franchise tag Justin Matabuke, the Texas A&M product defensive tackle who had a career year in a contract year. So he picked a good time. So they're going to try to keep some of that defense together.
All right, let's say hello to some of our commenters here and read some of your wonderful comments. If we have my music, please. From Christopher Cole, some fans are saying that Baker is going to get $40 million a year. He might.
Yeah.
Listen, if you got to go to $40 million and guarantee Baker $120 over 3 years with, on a 5-year deal, it's the cost of doing business, and you have an established quarterback who's a former number 1 pick, who took you to the playoffs, who has galvanized your team. It's not, remember, you bring in a quarterback doesn't necessarily mean he's going to galvanize your team. See Russell Wilson. So, see Jalen Hurts. I don't know what the hell's going on in Philadelphia, but there's a lot of finger pointing under the table at Jalen Hurts.
And I love it.
Did you hear about that?
Yes.
There's no specifics out there yet, but I know, there's been a couple people that are like, yeah, something went down. I can't talk about it, but it's Jalen Hurts related and it's not fixable.
Did Jalen Hurts sleep with Connor Bedard's mom too?
It kind of feels that way. It kind of feels like it's one of those things. Who was it? The Carton show. He was talking about it. Like, I can't say who it is, but I got sources that are telling me that it's one of the most popular players, and like you dancing around it,
right?
Everything you're saying, Jalen Hurts. So, like I said, the known. What do we know about Baker Mayfield? He's a scrappy guy. He's given his team an identity. He can play. He can bring teams back in the moment. He's cool under pressure. He makes big throws. He's not afraid. He's got some mobility to him. It's a lot of good. He ain't perfect. But he's so much better than the other. If we got to pay him $40 million, pay him $40 million. So be it. James says Bucs need both Baker and Mike. Evans' presence made Godwin, Moore, and Palmer better. No question about that. But if you got to choose between the two, James, who you got? We'll put that out. You got to choose between Baker and Evans just for fun. We want them both back. But if you had to choose, who would you choose?
Baker.
As much as I love Mike, it's football.
It's
Quarterback is the
quarterback.
most important position. Hard to find. Really, really hard to find good ones. So it's less to do about the players, more to do about the position.
Yeah.
In this. So we're not dissing anybody.
Nope.
Nathan Elliott, good morning to you, my friend, says winning puts arses into seats, best man up, not the home ties and cries from the demands of fans. I get that, Nathan. And I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah.
But you're not the one signing the checks. You're not the one. You bring in Justin Fields, you immediately sell 15,000 season tickets in Atlanta. Just telling you that's how it is. You bring in Baker, maybe 5.
And by the way, look what just happened up in Pittsburgh when they decided to draft the hometown guy because he's a hometown guy. Kenny Pickett is not a good quarterback. He is not the answer for the Steelers, and they are still looking for a quarterback.
Do you think they drafted him because he was a hometown guy? No?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I think they thought he could play for sure. I'm not saying just because he's a hometown guy, but it didn't hurt, right, with the fan base?
Yeah. Yeah, and here's Air Cecil saying this right there. He can't read the field, and he doesn't win games. That said, I love for Atlanta to trade for him. Maybe that's part of my motivation.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, would it shock me if they went and traded for Justin Fields and Atlanta won the South? No. I think Zach Robinson and Raheem Morris with Justin Fields and his athleticism with those weapons, I think they would have a very effective offense.
Right.
I just do. I think they would find a way with his athleticism for them to be effective. He's a tremendous runner. He is a tremendous runner. Much better than Baker. And he can throw the football. He's got a cannon. Is he as accurate as you want? No. But you put him on with that roster and that coaching staff. I think it certainly looks good on paper. What else we got? Coach Killer, says Nathan Elliott. I don't think
There's a lot of those out there.
Yeah. Did y'all happen to hear Johnny Manziel's comments?
Which ones?
Yeah. I saw that he did an interview and people were talking about it. I didn't dive into it. Did you, Tim?
Yeah, I read some of it. I actually wrote a piece about him, not about that, over at allaggies.com. But he apparently he's bashing a lot of the Browns players that he played with for not being supportive. Yeah.
For those on radio or making my what the F face?
JP has a huge question mark over his head right now, as most of us do with Johnny Manziel.
I mean, maybe it had a little bit to do with you, Johnny. Your lack of professionalism. Maybe they didn't see the commitment from you that they were hoping for. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, he's already admitted he wasn't trying, right? He never
exactly.
I mean, he already admitted he was at fault. So why are you going to come out and start blaming other people 2-3 years later? Come on.
Oh, the society we live in, bro.
And I love Johnny Manziel. I am a Johnny Manziel guy, right? But I still have a Cleveland Browns Johnny Manziel jersey. I have a Montreal Alouettes Johnny Manziel jersey.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, that's my favorite CFL team, obviously. I used to live in Montreal. So, but still, man, golly, just shut your mouth.
The world we live in. Why take responsibility when we can throw it on others, right? I mean, you're not looking at film. You're not even trying, but yet you're upset that the professionals whose lives and contracts are tied to your success were a little upset that you weren't in the facility looking at tape.
Go figure.
Shocking development.
While they were doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Right. Wow. Jeez. Okay.
By the way, you know who Johnny Manziel's best friend is to this day? They still hang out all the time.
Who's that?
Mike Evans.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They're big buddies.
Still?
Yeah. Big buddies. Makes you question Mike Evans a little bit.
Yeah. I'm like, do we need to be hanging out? I guess Johnny's cleaned up, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he didn't have any choice. He kind of had to.
He's not out there, throwing his girlfriend out of the car or anything. Right?
No. I don't think that's happening anymore.
Okay, just checking.
Valid question, though.
Let's revisit some of Johnny Manziel's best moments. I will say this about Johnny Manziel. I went to the Peach Bowl the year he played in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. And I could probably say that was one of the top 5 performances I've ever seen by a quarterback, college or pro. That was ridiculous. I don't know. I don't remember what the numbers were, but I just remember going, but it was all schoolyard. It was all complete schoolyard BS. It had nothing to do with the structure of the game or anything.
Nope.
But that dude could run around and sling it. Could run around and sling it with the best of them. And maybe he was sober that day or whatever it was, but man,
doubt it.
He was fantastic. That was something to behold. But I never for one moment said, "Oh yeah, he's going to be a good NFL quarterback." No.
Man, I don't think anybody did, right? Like you knew he was going to be. Yeah, I said the same thing about Tim Tebow, though. I never thought Tim Tebow was going to translate to the NFL. But man, he could sure play some college football. So that's
true. No, I never thought Tim Tebow was going to be. I thought he'd be a much better tight end.
Oh, by the way, you know who else I'm saying that about now?
Who's that?
Caleb Williams.
I'm on record as saying I would not draft Caleb Williams with the first overall pick. I think when all's said and done, we'll see how this goes. But I think it's going to be either Drake May or Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, yeah. Those are definitely your first 2 quarterbacks that should go off the board.
I think the more people look into Caleb Williams, the less they're going to like him. I mean, on tape and away from the ball.
Yeah.
I think that's all part of the process. That's all part of the process. When they start digging in, I don't think he has the maturity to be a great leader in the NFL, at the start. He may grow into it like Baker Mayfield has nicely, but at the beginning, I think it's going to be it's going to be hard for him, especially if he goes to a bad team like the Bears.
Right. And dude, I have character questions, not character like he's a bad guy question. I don't think he's a bad guy.
He's immature.
Just maturity questions, And dude, you cannot come into the league and be thrust into that on a bad team that's going to draft you early, like number 1, like the Bears.
It's Johnny Man. I'm not saying he's Johnny Manziel, but it's very similar situation. Yeah. Immaturity, bad football team, lots of pressure, number 1 pick. It's a bad cauldron of crap. It's what it is. It's a tough ask. For the most mature guys, like Peyton Manning, it was hard.
Yep.
He threw 28 interceptions his first year. It's tough. And when you go to a bad team, it's tough. And if you're immature and you can't handle that type of losing and futility early on, which I don't think Caleb is very good at. I don't think he'll handle it well at all. I think you'll see him, make some mistakes at the podium, throw people under the bus, run up to his mommy and cry in the stands.
I still don't get that.
It's not a good look.
That is such a bad look, man.
Good look.
God.
It's even worse that you did it. I mean, what motivates you to do that? Immaturity does. Man. Immaturity. You think Peyton Manning was doing that?
No one does that. Maybe Ryan Leaf did that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there we go. Immaturity.
Rick Meyer pulled that.
Yeah. Now, Johnny Manziel would run into the stands and into the lap of 3 hookers.
Sure.
With some blow.
Who can blame him?
But not your mom. Not your mom. Not a good idea. All right. Well, we'll take a break. We'll come back. TJ Reeves going to join us. We'll scour the X wire to see what's going on at the combine, to see if somebody said anything stupid or smart. That'd be a shame.
Yeah.
So stay with us. Quick break. 3 minutes. JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom. You want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
Is getting a home equity line a good idea right now with rates so high? Well, I put that question to my good friend Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services, and he says it all depends on where you're at financially. Many of us with ridiculous inflation have been charging up those credit cards, right? At 29% interest, hoping to catch up, but that ain't happening. Those interest payments are killing you. So yes, a consolidation loan and tapping into that crazy equity in your house is a great idea. That strategy can drop your monthly nut by thousands of dollars and stop wasting money on those interest payments. Fitz, the mortgage guy, has done thousands of loans for the past 25 years in Tampa Bay. Just did one for a former colleague who was a manager for a big bank mortgage division. He knows Scott is an independent broker and can get him a way better deal than at his own big bank. AMS Tampa has way lower overhead and gives you the savings. So if you're worried about fees and closing costs, have the free consultation with Scott and look at the actual numbers. It may shock you what he can do. Be smart. Stay one step ahead. Email Fitz at scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa, or call 813-294-7595. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722. American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here. We'll be chatting with TJ Reeves here in just a second as I send him an invite to join our stream. And
better late than never.
IndyCar Tim will regale you with some great things from Twitter, people talking about that while I do this, because I obviously cannot multitask anymore.
Yeah,
it's fun. We can do this on air. It's so great.
This is a weird combine. Like, I know the combine doesn't have the same meaning that it did years ago, you know, back when you and I were going and covering and it was the most important thing in the offseason before the draft, right?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of teams don't even care about it anymore.
I think there's 20 head coaches that didn't even go.
Yeah. Sean McVay famously, like he hadn't gone since 2020. Mike McCarthy, Cowboys head coach, did not go this year. I think Jerry and some of his guys are there. But
it's turned into more about like free agency and people talking about free agency and coaches and GMs coming to the mic and talking about issues for their teams than it is about the actual players. I mean, how much have we talked about the college players that are at the combine? Yeah. None.
None at all.
None at all. I mean, that'll be a little bit later when they start working out, obviously, but you know, it just, it's more of a, just like a league get together. You know, what's interesting though, is because I'm watching SportsCenter this morning. I would say in a time when the NFL is not playing games, hockey's playing games, MLB is playing spring training, right? NBA is obviously in their playoff push as well. College basketball is going on. 65% of SportsCenter is NFL.
Yeah.
God, the NFL is such a beast. It's a beast. It takes up so much bandwidth. And the other sports just must be going, what do we got to do to get 2 million people to watch a game? Like
Good luck.
The NFL, like Jerry Jones farts and 2 million people listen to it.
I mean,
and play it back on Twitter. Like the NBA All-Star game is like 2 people watching, for good reason.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, the numbers are just staggering with what the NFL does. And it's not even in season.
Yep.
Like it's off season. Crazy.
Well, and that's, what, though, they do that on purpose. You know this, JP. Like they spread out they have the league meetings right after the Super Bowl and all that. Then you have the combines this week. Then you have the beginning of the new league year on March 13th, and that's when free agency starts. Then you have the draft in late April. Dude, they spread all of that stuff out on purpose so they can stay in the news cycle. They can dominate every news cycle every month. That's really good marketing. I mean, the NFL's not stupid.
They figured it out. By the way, as we mentioned at the top of the show, Shaq Barrett released by the Buccaneers. And his wife went on Instagram. Jordana, did she rip the Buccaneers? No, this is because they're class people.
Right.
She said, well, the news is out and we are sad, but truly it's a business. Tampa will forever hold such a special place in my heart. The community we have here is incredible. We've never felt so loved and valued. Thank you to the Bucs, who undoubtedly have become family. Through the hardest year of our lives, the love and support they gave us is unmatched, and we are forever thankful. Who knows where the next road will lead us, but for now, we're enjoying off-season and are excited to see what's next. How about that?
Nice. That's class right there, man.
That's class, and that's keeping it in great perspective. And they're a very faithful and religious family. I would expect nothing less from them. It's just they're just great people. They're great people, and that goes under the heading of crappy things happening to really, really good people. And it sucks because there's a lot of a-holes out there that you never wish anything tragic like that on anyone, but you hate it. You hate it when it's just, these type of salt of the earth people. It's just awful. Anyway. So a couple other things. There was a little article in Times today about the community investment tax, which built Raymond James Stadium, which for those of you who don't remember, it was a huge, huge fight and issue to get that stadium built. The Glazers said they would pay for half. They never did. But that stadium cost $200 million. 200.
That's it.
That's it.
When did that open?
1998.
Wow.
Inflation. Yeah. State of the art too.
Yeah,
state of the art stadium.
That's a great facility.
Yeah, it's a fantastic facility. And they put probably another 200 into it since then, just to keep it up, and sound system and luxury boxes and everything. To me, it's a state of the art stadium. I don't know, with that, with the exception of a roof, right? It has everything. I think the sight lines are incredible. It's an intimate venue from the top deck. Sound, everything is perfect. It's just hot as hell in September and the first part of October.
Right.
And that's that. So it needs a covering, it needs a roof, or at least a shade for the fans, because it's just brutal. Or just to have night games. Can we just have night games?
Yeah.
Night games.
Because it cools off significantly there at night, right? Like you guys are 97 degrees during the day, but the sun goes down and it's in the 70s,
sun, man.
right?
It's the sun. Like we're used to, like, if you want to hang out in the shade in the summer. It's not, I'm not going to stay out there for, a few hours, but, in the sun, it's just unbearable. It's you can't sit in the sun for more than a half an hour at a time. It's just brutal. And especially when you got fans all around you, it's brutal. So there's just some shade would be all you need, like they have in Miami.
Yeah.
That's just cover the fans, and I think you'll be fine. I don't know what the technology involved in putting on a roof, but I mean, building a whole new stadium just seems like such a waste.
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfectly fine. It's, the stadiums used to last 60, 70 years. Now it's like 30 years, 25 years. Let's be done. We need a new stadium. No, we need a roof on it probably, but can we do that? Can we figure that out? You would think we could with technology, right?
That's the difference between, I guess, I mean, I'm sure there's several, but it's been years since I've been to Tampa, but between, Tampa and DFW, North Texas. So in the summertime, think last summer we had 68 straight days of over 105 degrees.
Yeah.
But here's the issue. When the sun goes down, it cools off to 99 degrees. We don't have the ocean and a breeze like that,
Okay.
right? So,
Yeah.
so even in the dead of summer, at midnight, 2 a.m., it could still be 97 degrees.
Yeah. It's like Vegas.
God, it's ridiculous.
I got off the plane
Why
in
am I
Vegas at night, at 10 o'clock at night. It was still 108 degrees.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's no good, no bueno. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine in the shade. Can't we just have like a drone, like 50 drones with a canvas top between it, right?
Right.
And just like float it up during the games, and as the sun moves, you can move it to the right,
Oh,
you
that's
can move it to the
brilliant.
left, right? I mean, how much does a bunch of canvas weigh?
I think you're onto something.
Right? I mean, I see these drones that they put up in the air, they stay up forever, right? You get 50 drones, attach a canvas to it, and then you could just move it so you don't have those horrible half shade, half sun that you get with the stupid hole in the roof in Dallas. Used to have, right? Remember? God, it's driving me
Old
crazy.
Texas Stadium, yeah.
Oh,
Wreaked havoc
God.
with the TV cameras too.
They have that now in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And it's all, but you can't. But if you have the canvas, you can move it.
Right. I mean, and that's basically what they did in Miami, right? At Joe Robbie, well, it's not Joe Robbie Stadium anymore. Hard Rock, right?
It's had 15 different names. So they had an underwear.
I still know it as Joe Robbie Stadium, but
remember the underwear? What the hell was that? Undergarment,
undergarment
Spanx.
stadium.
Was it Spanx?
I forgot about that. But I mean, that was just an open stadium, and then they went and they put the spires and then the roof just over.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks really, really cool.
And they fixed it so that in the dead of summer, when they're or the beginning of fall, when they're playing football there, the Dolphins sideline is in the shade, and the opposing team sideline is in the sun. That was completely planned. They did that on purpose. There's no question.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can put just whatever around the fans, right? That's all you need to do.
Yeah. And it's but I guess it costs $400 million to do that in Miami.
Oh,
how does that cost $400 million?
Well, they did other stuff to the stadium too, right?
Yeah, I guess
it's not just for the roof.
Yeah. Because the rest of the stuff is done. I mean, they've just put in all these luxury boxes and redone all the luxury boxes. And now we're going to build them a new stadium. The original point was the community investment tax is up for review, and it's a half-penny sales tax, and it paid for Raymond James Stadium, which at $200 million was the greatest investment in the history. Dude. People always say, building stadiums is a bad idea. It's not good. If you do it the right way, it's a pretty good idea. If you do it in a failed location at twice the cost that it should be, then it's a bad idea, St. Peter. Yep. But if you do it the right way, it can be in a public look at Atlanta in a public-private partnership. It's a great moneymaker. It's a win-win for everybody. But if Raymond James, I mean, they keep talking about, the Bucs we're gonna have to build a new stadium for the Bucs. What? Are you kidding me? Stadium's fine.
Yeah.
Except it's hot as hell. Here's another easy fix. But other than my drone and canvas idea, which I think is freaking brilliant. Except when it rains. Like when it rains,
that might be bad. Yeah.
No, but if it rains, like you
or
just
a gust
move it
of wind.
Well, you just move it over to the side, right? And then you pour it out. Pour it out. Or you have little things in the middle of the canvas that open up. You open it up and it just spills out.
Now we're getting more expensive.
Yeah. Come on. We can put a man on the moon.
I don't know.
We can't build put a piece of canvas in between a few drones. Come on. Can't be that hard.
Drone roof.
It's a drone roof. And you can do it to multiple stadiums, right?
Yeah.
You can take it you can fly it to the next venue. Pack it up in a truck.
Just see this thing flying over your neighborhood. It's just big as they're moving it.
You could just rent it out for shade for a birthday party.
And so you can sell sponsorship for it too, because you can put logos and crap on it.
You can LED it. You can change the sponsorship. One big freaking billboard.
And we're getting really expensive now.
God,
I feel like we're making money. $250 million.
We're making money though, Timmy. We're making money. Look. I mean, that's it. Now we sold sponsorships on it already. We've rented it out, which is multi-purpose. You could have, like a festival, say a music festival.
And you could put messages on it like the Goodyear Blimp used to do, right? Like, happy birthday, Johnny.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It becomes, you could put video of the game on it. You could put video of the game on it. You could have, it'd be another video board. You look up, look up for the replay. Yeah. Think about that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. If you have a festival or something, you could it calls for rain or it's summertime. You want a little shade. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Oh, you know what? You could put, so on the underside of it, you could just have the entire thing be LED and it could just look like the sky and clouds. And if it's over you, you don't even know it's there because you look up and it just blends in with the sky and you don't even know it's there.
That's brilliant.
Like they have at Caesar's Palace, right? In Vegas,
right.
Where it just looks like it's the sky.
Yes. Brilliant. Brilliant. See, if anybody comes up with this and makes it, we're getting a cut.
I'll be pissed.
I'm 100% getting a cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I invented Topgolf 10 years before it was invented.
Yeah.
And I got nothing for it. So this time I'm on record. This show will live forever.
That's right.
And I'm coming at you when you make this. I'm getting at least some type of finder's fee or some type of that's a no-brainer.
Just cut us in for 8%. I'll take 8% of the whole thing. Yeah.
That's it. Look, it's catching wildfire in the comments. Canvas has turned into a 600 million.
Yeah, it is.
What, did the government get involved? Did the army get involved? What the hell happened? How did it get to six? How did 7 drones and a piece of canvas get to 600 million? Because it's got to fire. It's got to have missiles in it. Those drones too. Okay.
It's got to be able to shoot down balloons.
Yeah, we got to be able to send it to Ukraine and spend another $1 billion.
Oh God.
What is this? The Astros will now have drones to steal signs. They probably already have.
Probably already do.
Yes, the great Pro Player Stadium. But there was another.
It was before. Yeah.
I'll find that. Google the other. Yeah, it was some underwear company.
Underwear.
MDJFSU said that would be wild. The floating canvas. Yeah. It's the Rays had that sail idea. Well, it's like a sail, like a big piece of canvas that gives you shade. I mean, it's not that heavy. They're we got flying taxis now that are drones. You see these things?
Gosh, yes.
You getting in one of those, by the way?
Nope. Am not.
Without a pilot.
Zero chance.
It's without a pilot. You're just going to hop in that thing and it's going to take you over. I don't know. I think, it could work. I'd rather have one of my own to pilot and drive myself, and then we could put it on autopilot.
Yeah.
The NFL has figured out Bucks games at 1 p.m. in September means more beer sales. No, it means more people going to the freaking hospital. That's what it means. Yeah, you just can't have it. But I don't understand why you just can't have all nothing but night games. And it does. And here's the thing: if you have a Sunday night, say you have a Sunday night game, and it's going to be the Cowboys and the Giants. Okay, great. Why not have the Bucks and the Panthers playing at the same time? And if if that game becomes a dog, then, and I know you'll say, well, the TV window. Look, if you're going to put it on 1:00 on September 12th, and the only markets it's going to be in are Tampa Bay and Carolina, then what's the difference? The people in Tampa Bay and Carolina are going to watch it, and you're going to get probably a more total audience than you would because, you got another game going on. And if and one's a dog, you got another one to switch to. Or if you have technical issues with one, you got another one to switch to. There's just no reason for any college team or professional team to play day games in September and the first 2 weeks of October. There's no reason for it. There's no, this day and age with TV, TV runs a deal. I don't care. Come on. This is about safety now. It's just too freaking hot.
Well, the NFL doesn't get a cut of beer sales, right? That goes right to the team. So the NFL wouldn't have anything to do. So here's all your previous names of Hard Rock Stadium, JP.
Okay. All right.
Joe Robbie Stadium.
Yep. The original.
Yep. Pro Player Park.
Pro Player Park.
And then Pro Player Stadium.
Right.
And then you had Dolphins, plural, Stadium. And then it changed to Dolphin Stadium without the S. Then it was Land Shark Stadium.
Land Shark Stadium, yeah.
And then Sun Life Stadium.
Sun Life Stadium.
And then it was New Miami Stadium.
New Miami? When was it New Miami
2016,
Stadium?
New Miami Stadium. I think that was right before they did now it's Hard Rock. It's been Hard Rock since 2018.
All right. So I don't know. Maybe there wasn't an underwear brand. Where was Pro Player in underwear?
Probably. I don't. What is Pro? That's like a clothing brand, right? So
yeah, it was. Yeah, and they made those like sliding shorts. So that's maybe I thought
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what you're thinking of. Huh.
Yeah.
Funny.
All right. As we were waiting the arrival of one TJ Reeves, should we take another break here? Or,
Sure.
Where are we at here? Time wise. Oh, no, it's
11:50.
No, so we'll wait for him to pop in.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know when we're going to have the resolution for this Buccaneer Stadium, but it seems really, really foolhardy to be talking about $2 billion for a dome stadium, or for a stadium that just is perfectly good. It's just no reason to be building a new stadium, and which makes and I still hold out hope that they'll come to their senses and build a baseball stadium in Hillsborough County, which, by the way, is not going to take any of the community investment tax money, even if it was excluded, because they're talking about excluding schools and stadiums in the new community investment tax. So I think, it's still, you can do a public-private partnership and build a raised stadium in Tampa. And maybe the new ownership group just decides to do what the Warriors did and just build their own stadium and not depend on and just own the land and own everything and own all the revenue, because you can certainly, as Jerry Jones and Arthur Blank have shown, you can spend that kind of money to build a stadium and get all the revenue back and make plenty of money. And by the way, the Glazers are flush with cash right now. So they just sold off a piece of Man United for about $1.5 billion. So
you think they consolidated their credit card debt when they did that?
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's interesting because, I've known Joel and Brian for probably 20 years now. When I see them, they're very nice and very friendly. And we always, talk about families and all that stuff. And you would never know that those dudes are worth that much money. You would never know. They are just super nice, super down to earth, really, really good dudes. I know they got a lot of bad press early on, but honestly, if you've spent any time with any of them, they are super nice guys. And as owners, I don't think you could ask for much more. Yeah. They have done everything you can possibly, and they've been the right blend of hands-on, hands-off owner, unlike the guy in Dallas. Just saying. A man that knows the Glazers very well. He dines with them often. Is the great TJ Reeves, Buck sideline guy. What's up, brother?
What a segue. Thank you for bearing with me. I got off the live handicapping show with BetUS TV. By the way, you always want the tips. They love Kentucky against Mississippi State tonight. Write them down.
Write that down.
Write them down to the peeps. Kentucky. They love lots of points in your part of the world. Timmy, Big 12 country. They love Kansas and BYU to score. I'm just here. I'm here for the handicapping help on the show.
What about Iona and St. Bonaventure?
I have nothing on that for tonight. Somebody was literally asking about Texas State and ULM, Louisiana Monroe, and I'm going.
Someone was asking about Texas State and ULM.
I got somewhere to be. Let's stop talking about that.
Wow.
In the dregs.
Wow.
But
deep dive.
Hey, listen, you didn't have me here for that. Do you want to talk Buccaneers first or USF Bulls first? What avenue do you want to travel?
Let's go Bulls first. Did you go to the game Sunday? I could not.
I was there.
Yeah,
I was there, my friend.
Was it better than the FAU game, or the same?
The atmosphere was still tremendous. The students were there again. TV right probably had easily most of it full again. 3,000 students at that end.
Wow.
And a bunch of students in the overflow. This has caught on, and they are talking about that Tulane midweek game next Wednesday night after the Charlotte game is probably also going to be a sellout too. They're already talking about that.
That would be the clincher for they'll probably clinch the conference before they already clinched the tie.
They could with Charlotte coming this weekend, but a great atmosphere. Now, here's the interesting thing. They didn't play nearly as well in the game with SMU. Turnovers, giving up 27 offensive rebounds. That was a little eye-opening. Let SMU get every offensive rebounding.
They got outscored 39-4 on second chance
because of
points
27
and won the game by 11.
And won the game by 11. That's where I was coming with that. I mean, that tells you keep your composure, make shots. They took a little better care of the ball the last 10 minutes of the game, make free throws, which they did. At one point, they were like 14 of 16 from the foul line again.
Yeah,
this is not an accident, kids. JP, you know this.
No,
you
they're
are
not a
not
fluke.
accidentally 19-1 in your last 20 games. I am almost having an out-of-body experience doing these interviews saying South Florida, USF, 19-1 in the last 20 games.
Yeah.
And it is not an accident.
It's an easy league, TJ.
Right. Well, but
it's not.
It's veteran guards that are playing big. You've got some size. You've got a composed head coach who we both have raved about.
Yeah.
And right now, the
Composed
mojo is rolling, and they don't get rattled. They don't get rattled at the end of games, and they make 3-point shots. So I'm not saying they're invincible, but I'm posing this on all of my coverage. Here we go. Both of you weigh in. If it is the first four in Dayton, where USF, the last time they were in the NCAA tournament, they were in the first four, as you remember, JP, and beat Cal in the first four in 2012 with Stan Heath. Yeah. All right. First four matchup, South Florida and Gonzaga. I'm taking USF. I know Gonzaga traditionally, yes, but they don't have as much firepower.
Wow.
It's going to be an 11-5 matchup.
12-5. I heard you say that. 12-5. All right, but these are the first four games in Dayton, which is usually the 2 12 seeds playing each other. Yeah. All right, Timmy, Michigan State, who's lost recently to Iowa at home, lost Sunday on a last-second shot to Ohio State, don't have very many quality wins at all away from home. Michigan State, South Florida in Dayton at the first four. Who you got, Timmy?
South Florida.
It'd be tough to go against the Bulls.
Wow.
I mean, Michigan State's not good.
Right, and these are the teams you're talking about. Virginia, JP, you've covered the NCAA, the ACC for a long time. Virginia is sliding. They're like going down the Virginia snow mountains at 80 miles an hour without skis.
They're like me in
they
high
scored
school,
16 points in the first half Saturday against North Carolina. 16.
Lord. Yeah, they cannot score.
Virginia, South Florida in a Dayton game. Virginia is in most people's last four in. Virginia, South Florida.
I take South Florida all day.
How can you not?
All day long. Yeah.
So these are the discussions we're having, and it's great to have those discussions. Kudos to them. The only concern, how concerned are you with this, JP? They don't play midweek. Do we get a little stale not playing until Saturday at Charlotte? What do you think?
I don't like that. I don't like. What is that? Some stupid finals break?
This is everybody gets a midweek off situation.
Like a bye week. Yeah.
Like a bye week. This is their midweek off, from the conference. This is their midweek off.
Yeah.
It's because they've been playing midweek weekend for like 6 weeks in a row. This is the off week.
Here's a question that we talked a little bit about yesterday. Calipari calls his team out in a post-game press conference. Everybody loses their freaking mind. I don't know how we got so soft now that coaches can't call their players out and say they're unathletic. They're like,
or not guarding, not playing defense.
Yeah, I mean,
Rick Pitino did the same thing at St. John's.
I thought I meant Pitino. I'm sorry, I was saying Calipari.
Yeah, but I mean, Calipari
got my Dagos mixed up.
No, Calipari was calling out Kentucky the same way.
Yeah,
but Pitino called them out, and look how they responded. Look how they came together.
Exactly. My point. It's like people lost their mind. Oh my God, how could he do that? And then they go out and beat Creighton. They get the biggest win they've had in a decade. And it's like, that's what happens when you hold people accountable and you give them a little bit of tough love. They're not going to wilt. They're not going to go run into their mommies and I need an emotional day off. No, you're fine. Go get better.
Give me a hug. Give me a therapy dog. Oh, okay.
Jesus.
Back to
By the way, what the heck was Rick Pitino wearing yesterday?
That was his white suit, a white out. His I don't know if he was channeling the Southern televangelist from the 80s and the 90s or what that was.
Yes.
But anyway, back to Amir Abdul-Rahim, the calm demeanor.
Yeah.
The fact that you're not going to hear him call people out, but his team is together.
Yeah.
His team is playing hard for each other. You love all of these things. I'm not saying they're invincible here, but they're going to be very tough to ignore here coming up in about a week. If they get to 17-1, like we keep saying, JP, this is realistic. That is going to be very difficult for that selection committee to ignore at 17-1 in the regular season. And then let's see what they do in Fort Worth in your part of the world, Tim, in the American tournament, where between them and Memphis and Florida Atlantic and SMU and even Charlotte, everybody needs a win or two, if not the automatic bid. That's going to be a fascinating tournament for sure.
So I was speaking about the Glazers, and I think this is interesting. And nobody knows this for sure, but the scuttlebutt is that the Glazers were not on board with re-signing Mike last year. and not because they didn't want to re-sign him. They just wanted to see another year at age 30. And also the salary cap situation is very fluid. They knew that we'd be going up. They didn't know how much. So a lot of different factors. But the bottom line is, if you're Mike Evans, you're like, thank you. Because guess what? He would have signed, if you'd have signed him last year before, he's probably going to make at least 20% more because the cap went up 20% roughly. Right. So it's like, if you're Mike Evans, like, is Mike pissed at the Glazers? He shouldn't be, because they made him a lot of money.
I know you got to go. I know you got to go. But here's the important thing is, a year ago, they couldn't have given him the same guaranteed money and the same signing bonus that they can give him now. And he, you know, as much as he wanted it, they had so much dead cap money that they were taking a hit on. They can give it to him now. And I hate that you're releasing Shaq Barrett. We've talked several times on your show about what a great personal tragedy he went through and some triumph to come back and play this year. It's unfortunately the cruel part of professional sports. He's making too much money for the productivity, and they need the money elsewhere with younger guys. But that guy is still a key part of your Super Bowl win. He's got the single season sacks record. He got paid monstrously over the last 4 or 5 years. You just hate this business side of it. And again, I say the same thing I said to you last week. In Jason Light, we trust on wheeling and dealing here, whether it's franchise tag on Antoine Winfield, which is the speculation, Baker Mayfield cashing in big. Let's see what they do here over the course of the next few days when you can re-sign your own guys. Stand by.
What do you predict?
I think they're all, I mean, accuse me of being slanted, biased, fine. I think they're all three back. Winfield on a franchise tag, Mayfield and Mike Evans.
Yeah, I agree.
And if 100%. You're a Buck fan, you got to be thrilled if you can keep those three guys.
What do you think for numbers for Baker?
He's easily going to get like $45 million signing bonus and guaranteed salary for 2024. Right. He is cashing in on a huge number now.
1 year.
And then, I'm talking about then they'll spread the money out over the multiple years of the contract. But they're going to have to allot for that and then spread it out with a bonus. He's going to get 10 times the money than what he played for in 2023. It's going to be something like, it's the quarterback position. They're going to have to.
And he earned it. You know?
And he played it and earned it, and you're exactly right. So let's see what happens with this. I'm here at your disposal. I'll try to get in here quicker next time because I know you got to go. But it's always good to
we do a little bonus for the people. You know how we are. We're for the people.
Because you're having to wait for me while I'm talking about Iowa Penn State on the handicapping show.
As only you can do.
Because that is so riveting to the rest of the country, except the gambling degenerates that care about Iowa and Penn State.
Good.
Yeah, but you make even that sound interesting. So good for you.
I try.
I try. You really do.
I'm here at your service, gentlemen. Let's see what happens with USF. No game midweek. Let's see what the Buccaneer moves are. I pledge to be with you whenever you need me.
At Buck Sideline Guy, that's TJ Reeves. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it.
See you, boys.
All right, another award-winning broadcast here, going into the Hall of Fame archives. Well done, Timmy. Appreciate that. Our thanks to Bobby the Chief Taylor, who joined us today, Johnny Gerber and TJ Reeves, and great job, Timmy, as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, FanStream Sports, The JP Peterson Show. You can also listen as a podcast anytime on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. The Strike 102.5. Listen to us live on that big FM Beast HD2. So we're everywhere. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.